And welcome back. We're joined now by our reporter in the field, Dan Badandi. He traveled up north to New England to see his family over the past weekend, and lo and behold, there happened to be a hurricane. So he's out in the field, and unlike those other networks where they send a reporter out with an umbrella in the middle of a storm, and they're like, we're out and reporting live, he's safe at home with his family and his child, and they're doing quite well, and he's going to break down what's going on and also some information he got from a FEMA source. So he joins us now, Dan Badandi. So how you doing, Dan?
Not bad. How you doing, Jakari?
It's real good. So tell us about what's going on up there.
All right, so far the weather's cleared up a little. I'm looking out the window right now. It's cloudy, but a little bit of sun so far, and we don't know if it's going to swing back toward Rhode Island. We don't know that yet. But we did suffer a lot of damage. I had the stats actually. I read something yesterday about the updated ones on the power outages. It was 1,051 outages that affected over 113,000 customers here in Rhode Island without power. And it's 113,000 homes and businesses and everything. And so far it's like looking okay. I mean, we've got down poles and so on. But everything else, I mean, like it's looking so far good.
So how's it in your area? Did you have any power outages or any down trees or anything like that?
A lot of down trees. We had some down poles, and we're lucky we didn't lose power. The power blinked a few times last night, and we're still having trouble. We don't have full internet and everything. The phone has trouble once in a while, and they're working on the lines and everything. But so far over here, everything's good.
Good. Glad to see that you're safe. Now, we previewed a little bit on the radio. Alex said you had some information about a FEMA camp or a FEMA representative that you met.
Oh yes, it was. I can't name who he is, but
Sure.
When I traveled to Austin last July, I thought it was August, but I checked. It was last July when we all went down there after the reporter contest. I got held over in BWI, that's Baltimore Washington International Airport in Washington, and I was listening to this guy talking on his phone. He said talking about Jan Napolitano and all these bigwigs in FEMA and Homeland Security. Long story short, he was talking to his brother, and I kind of was like, "Excuse me, sir, I wasn't like eavesdropping on your call or anything, but I heard you say Jan Napolitano." He goes, "Oh yeah, I work for Homeland Security and FEMA and all that, and so I'm playing this guy out to see where he stands." And I'm like, "You aware of HR 645?" Because everybody I meet that's part of FEMA and such, I kind of try to educate them what their organization's really about. So basically, you see my shirt InfoWars, and he was like, he goes, "I'm a big Alex Jones fan, by the way." Really? It's like, well, I'm one of his new reporters, so it broke the ice right there. So he goes, "All right, since we're on the same page, I'm going to tell you everything." He's looking around. I'm here with another person, but he goes, "No, what the hell with it?" He goes, "I'm going to tell you everything, what's going on." He goes, "I got called here this morning to get on the plane right away and to arrive in Washington, D.C. because there is disaster drills coming. There's something big down the pipe," he was saying. And he goes, "We got called here. I'm going back home now." And he goes, "We got called here in Washington for emergency meeting." That was Jan Napolitano and all these other bigwigs in Homeland Security and FEMA and all that. He says, "I'm a ground transportator coordinator." And he's also, actually, I won't say where else he works because they can put the connections together, but he's a transportation coordinator for FEMA as well. And he was told, I know it said the InfoWar bomb, the money bomb I said was 10,000. No, it's 20,000 Metro City buses that hold up to 65 people in regulation. But they said they could jam at least 100 people in there if they had to. Right. And his job was to organize over 20,000 of these buses for the evacuation of the East Coast. And he was saying, we don't know what's going to happen, because he goes, again, they don't tell me everything, but he goes, I've been with Homeland Security for 17 years or whatever it was, and he says, I'm still with Homeland Security because I was going to quit a few times, but people said insider people are more important. You have to relay this information, so that's why he stood with Homeland Security. And he's a big fan of Alex Jones as well, and he was telling me all this information, showed me documents. He was supposed to email me some, and I tried all three of his numbers. I can't get a hold of this guy. I hope to God that this guy didn't get caught or anything, because he was there with other FEMA officials as well. And he was showing me documents on the training camps as well. He told me, this is what exactly he told me. He goes, they're going to have military exercises up in your area, up in New England. And they're going to be on natural disasters and communications loss, power outages, and so on. He goes, within the next couple of weeks. He goes, that's what I got told. He showed me in the manual. And I told him about an internment camp up in Massachusetts, and Fort Devens FMC, and he actually flipped to the pages and showed me the exact camp I was talking about, and pointed out 2 other ones in the area as well. And basically, he was telling me down the line this was going to happen. He goes, when you go back home, because I told him the whole situation. I was going to Austin for about a few days and going home, but he was telling me when you go back home, expect these drills to happen. It's going to be coordinated with FEMA and the National Guard. And sure enough, when I got home, the mainstream media, now they only acknowledged us that day. They said, and they acknowledged that was 1 site that they were training from. There was 3. And the only reason I knew about the other 2 sites, because I got friends all over the state, and they told me, hey, in the rural areas, this place called the Lag Center, that's way out in the middle of nowhere, near the Veteran Cemetery. And they told me, hey, there's all kinds of military vehicles, tents and everything going on over there, being set up. And I went down there, and I got it on YouTube as well, my Bionic Dan B channel. And I confronted the FEMA people, and they basically kicked me out because I wasn't supposed to know about that drill there.
Right.
And the mainstream media, they only covered one of them, the one at the ocean, and they didn't tell the public about the other 2 that were taking place in the state, and that was just 3 of many all throughout New England.
Now, Dan, if I could stop you right there, just so our viewers know that you're not blowing smoke, you did talk about this on the Money Bomb. It's something that is timestamped. So let's go ahead and throw to that Money Bomb video now.
When I was flying down here from Rhode Island, I stopped in BWI Airport for a layover, and my flight was delayed. So I'm sitting there, and one of the guys was talking, some guy was talking next to me on his phone. I heard him mention Janet Napolitano, blah, 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 Homeland Security, and he worked for it. So I'm like, all right, let me ask this guy some questions. So he gets off the phone. I'm like, hi, how you doing? It's like, I couldn't help overhearing you talk about Janet Napolitano and all that. He goes, yeah, I work for FEMA. I'm a grounds transportation coordinator for FEMA and Homeland Security. And he's in it, I'm trying to test this guy out, see where he is, well, long story short, he learned that I was going to be a reporter for Alex Jones, whatever, and he's on the same page. He says he's been listening to Alex for God knows how long, and he's been working with FEMA and Homeland Security for about 15 years. And he wants to stay on the inside, but he told me right out, he goes, since we're on the same page here, he goes, there's going to be martial law coming soon. He told me this. He goes, the reason why I'm here in Washington, D.C., BWI, Baltimore, Washington International for, they called an emergency meeting. They called an emergency meeting for us to be here. He goes, now they don't tell me everything because I'm just a ground transportation coordinator. So what he did was, he opened his briefcase. Now, before he gets to that, he was explaining to me. They are going to pull the plug from martial law. They called a meeting this morning. We had to be in Washington ASAP. And so when he basically he was telling me this stuff, then he opens his briefcase and shows me documents. And he says for secret eyes, all that good stuff. And he said we got called because my job is